Well, hello everyone. It is your career and life coach, Amy Dickerson, and I am back with another installment where I'm reading from my journal as I'm going through the process of transition, much like many of you out there. So let's get into it. Let's see what the answer is to that question that I posted out there on social media last week that had to do with vulnerability. What is the thing that's going to get us over the finish line? So here we go. So here's my message to you. Kudos to you who have decided to step out on faith and make that change in your life that you've been dying to, deserving to. And just basically, this was something I absolutely needed to do. Whether it's something that's in your career, whether it's your career overall, whether it's a relationship, your health, and on and on and on. Deciding to make a change in your life can be a difficult thing to do. It instantly places you in a space of vulnerability. Now, this typically involves some level of discomfort, right? We all know that. Just comes with it. But it's funny. What's the expression that some people use? It's better to deal with the devil you know than to deal with the devil you don't know. Well, the fear of the unknown is the big part of that, right? So it definitely puts us in a place where we just absolutely feel vulnerable. The thoughts start coming to us. What's going to happen? What am I really going to be able to make it? Am I going to be able to pay my mortgage? What about my child's tuition? I'm doing this weight loss journey, and what if I hit a plateau and I just don't seem to be making any more progress? There are so many things that come to our mind that we have concerns about when we're thinking about this process of change and transition. But sometimes it's so hard to make that change because it is more comfortable to deal with the situation that we do know than to start really, dealing with the fears of what we, could possibly expect to happen next. It's just, we just rather just go ahead and just deal with our current situation simply out of comfort. But is it really comfortable? Maybe the push to change comes when the fear of the unknown is more bearable than the pain of the comfort zone. Now, I'm certain that there are various theories on why we finally take the leap of faith. I mean, I've heard many, and I'm sure you've probably heard many as well. But one thing that I do know is that it takes courage. Now, I don't know about you, but being in this state of transition, at times it's definitely been scary. I find myself, having some of those old anxieties that I've had in the past kind of come up and they're resurfacing. And I find myself, in this space where I'm doing a lot of things to help combat that. I'm doing things such as I'm reciting scriptures, I am reading mantras, I am praying, I am meditating. I've even gone for long walks. Anything I can do to help myself as I'm going through this process. Because I know in the end, I'm going to be all right. I have faith in that. So I realize, it's like what's happening with me is like those neural paths, those paths in your brain that you used to have, that when you used to feel certain ways that you just instantly kind of go to with fear and worry. And I found myself kind of falling back into the rut of those paths. And so doing all these things, I'm really trying to move myself back into those new paths that I have created. And it's working. Again, it is work to do it, but it is working. It is definitely helping. So imagine the relief when I read these words in Brene Brown's book. I share with you, I've been reading Atlas of the Heart, which was reading this week, and the quote that I saw that really stood out to me was this: vulnerability is the emotion that we experience during times of uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. There is no courage without vulnerability. I thought that was an amazing statement. She even mentions how in her research, vulnerability emerged as a prerequisite for all daring leadership behaviors. Can't lead if you can't handle uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. That just makes sense. So, to you out there, if you have indeed chosen to step out and change your life, then you are indeed brave. No matter what fears may pop up in your life, and just know that you have already proven that you are indeed someone who has courage. Okay, so thinking about that, just know that if you continue to choose bravery over and over again, this will allow you to be able to lean into that vulnerability and get you over the finish line in this process. As Brené's book says, vulnerability is not weakness, it is our greatest measure of courage. So there it is. There's the answer: courage. So now, if you find that on this journey that you're going through, that you really need some support yourself, as you're making your transition, well, then I want to invite you into something new that I have coming, and I've mentioned it before. This is in LinkedIn. I'm having a new group, and it's free, and it's called Blue to Green Coaching's Bibliotech. I know you're like, well, what is a bibliotech? Well, when you get in there, I have a welcome video for you, and you're going to learn what that word means. But I just want to know that I'm opening it up now. So please be the first to jump on in there and get in the group. Let's get in here and let's support one another through our journeys. Let's talk about our challenges that we're having, our victories that we're having. Let's talk about some of the strategies that we're using, the resources that we have come up with, like some of these books that I'm reading. These are things that we can do to help one another, encourage our process as we're individually going through it, so that we can maintain our hope for a better future. Now, if you're struggling, to just get started in the process overall, you want to be able to make that change. There's something that you absolutely need to do, but maybe you feel like you don't have the support. Maybe you feel like you just don't know exactly how to get yourself started, or maybe you feel like your mindset is just kind of stuck. You're used to doing things a certain kind of way and living a certain type of way, and again, you're in that comfort zone, but it's not the place to be. How do you change your mind and move forward? Well, I want to share with you that I'm going to be opening up again this July the next session of the Blue to Green Coaching Flourishing Life Group Coaching Accelerator. Now, this course has helped so many. It has really been popular, but the best part is it actually helps people. People really were able to step out and change their lives, be able to change those mindsets that have been challenging them. They were able to uncover some of the emotional triggers that they had and really learn why they responded in particular ways, but also to be able to look at the goals that they had and create strategies to work around those things that have been holding them back, and actually step into the space and move forward and begin to live those lives that they were seeking to lead. So I really want to encourage you to join it. I'm going to be putting information down in the description box to get on my wait list. The Accelerator course is a 12-week course, and we are really going to dig deep and do a lot of things. And really, when you're done, you're going to have a game plan for the year and definitely action steps to start using immediately to move you into that space of changing your life. Okay? So finally, I also want you to put down below in the comment section, share with us your thoughts on this topic of vulnerability, bravery, courage. What has been your experience with this? We've all probably at some point have had a moment where we've had to take that deep breath and be brave and step out there and do what we needed to do. So I really would love for you to share, how did you get through that moment? What were the kind of things that you did? What kind of thoughts did you employ? Did you find resources and support in others? What did you do to actually get there? There's a lot of people who are looking for suggestions and new ideas, and maybe they even have ideas, but maybe they think, oh no, that's a crazy thought. So by you sharing what you did, you might be able to help them realize, oh, I'm on track. This is definitely something that I can do. So please go down in the comments and share about what you've done. We will greatly appreciate it. All right. Thank you for your time. Thanks for listening. Again, this is your career and life coach, Amy Dickerson, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. Take care, everyone.